Every great man had this one habit. Marcus Aurelius wrote in the midst of the war. Da Vinci sketched and scribbled his genius into existence. Tupac filled pages with his raw emotions and visions that still inspire millions today, including me. They didn't write for perfection. They wrote to unleash themselves. You don't have to do it every day, but when you do, it can unlock clarity, confidence, and control over your life that you could have never imagined. But if the greatest minds in history use this tool, why wouldn't you? I'm going to tell you why you wouldn't right now. You think journaling is soft. That's what I thought too. But here's the truth. Real men write. You think it's a waste of time. Cool. But let me ask you this. How much time do you spend scrolling TikTok, playing Call of Duty, watching YouTube? 5 minutes of journaling can give you more control over your life than an hour of distraction. You don't know what to write. Well, today I had chicken soup for dinner and it was amazing. I hear you. I thought the same thing. And then the last one that gets a lot of us men is real men don't journal. I've already proven to you that real men do journal. But I also want to tell you again, some of the hardest, smartest, and most legendary men did journal. But why? Why would these men journal? I am glad you asked. Because they knew this. A man who understands himself moves differently. And that is exactly what journaling gives you. I bet you're wondering how I discovered journaling. Well, maybe you're not wondering, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I remember about 8 years ago, I was in an extremely dark place, a very dark place in my life. And I had friends and I felt like I was vomiting all my problems, all my frustrations all over them. And I made a decision that I was going to do something different. I went to the store and bought me a $3 journal and I started writing. And it soon turned into this thing where I felt I had a place to get the things that were floating in my head out. And once I started getting them out, I was able to take a step back and look at everything that was going on in my life and start making some different decisions. And once I did that, things started becoming clearer and things got better for me. So that's how I ended up journaling. But that is not the only way to journal, and that is not the only benefit of journaling. Let's get into those. One of them is for self-improvement. You can journal to improve yourself. How can you do this? Well, what you do, and I believe this is something Peter Drucker said. You get a journal, you write down a decision that you're going to make. You write down what you want to happen. You write down why you made the decision and go do the thing. Later, come back and write in your journal what happened. Did it match what you said? Did it exceed it? Was it worse? Whatever. But the reason why you're doing that is to improve your decision-making process, which improves you. Yes. So that's one reason why people journaled. And another one is to just measure growth in your life. I had this journal today. I went and looked in it. And the last time I wrote in it was 2023 because I keep a lot of journals. But in this particular journal, I had wrote about some things that were going on in my life at that time. And when I read this before recording today, a lot of those things worked out. Sometimes we need a reminder of how far we have came. And so when we journal, we can take a look back. We might be going through a tough time and look at our journal and be like, okay, well, yeah, this may be tough. But according to my journal, on this particular day, 1 year ago, I was in this place and I'm definitely not there anymore. So things are great. Things are beautiful. Things are wonderful. Those are the kind of things we can track. It helps us. But to do that, we have to be able to journal and measure. We can measure those things. We just write it down, measure our growth. Journaling allows us to do is process our emotions. Yes, that interesting little word, emotion. I'm so emotional right now. No, but seriously, it helps us process our emotions. When we do that, we get an insight to, one, how we see ourselves, how we see our thoughts, and it helps us to gain a new perspective on ourselves. So that is one way we can use it to process. Because what a lot of us men do is we let these emotions fester and bottle up in us. And so when we never release them, one day and we end up in the morgue. Yes, that's what happens. Also, when we are writing down our emotions, it helps us to calm down. Why is that? Because the act of writing switches our brain from our limbic emotional part to our prefrontal cortex, which is our logical part of our brain. The act of writing does that. And so it's important that we know that, because it's almost like a stress release just by picking up a pen and writing in our journal, even if we're writing things that are bothering us right now. Another benefit these great men figured out is it's for documentation purposes. Now, Vinci he documented everything he learned in his journals. I mean, from everything. It was crazy because I read in a book that Da Vinci had came up with he did a drawing of a helicopter. Man, how that man draw a helicopter? We didn't even have helicopters then, but he drew a sketch of a helicopter. That is amazing. So it really can be to document your ideas, document what you've learned about a particular subject. And it could be also a place that you keep quotes, names of people you want to remember. Hey, I just met Aaron at the supermarket, blah, blah, blah. We discussed this. You document it. You can put that in your journal. And there were other men who used their journal the same way. Tupac used his journal to write poems. He didn't know that, hey, one day this is going to be published into a book. Ben Franklin, he wrote down things in his book to track even his virtues, his habits, how he went about his day, because he needed to document what he was doing right, what he was doing wrong, so he can improve himself, which also goes back to that thing of we are trying to improve. That is why we're journaling. I heard this, it's in a song. Nicki Minaj says it. Not everybody dies, but not everybody lives. To me, when we journal, we are keeping track of the life that we have lived, whether we're putting down what we're learning, what we did so we can improve on it. All of these things are helping us live life, because a life is meant to be lived, not just meant to be endured. I know what you're thinking. I got it. I'm going to do this journaling thing, but I'm going to give you some ideas around it. But first, I'm going to give you a few more things to not do. One is, don't complicate this process. You don't need a particular type of journal. You don't need a particular special pen. You don't need any of that. You don't need an hour or two in a day to journal. And you don't need to write in your journal as though, you're Da Vinci or you're Marcus Aurelius. Your journal is not for world consumption. Your journal is for you. And so for you, since your journal is for you, you need to write the truth. If you do not write the truth in your journal, you cannot improve. So it is important that you remember that you are not writing for an audience. You're writing for yourself. And the last myth that I want you to understand is you do not have to write every day. You need to write when you have something to write. It would be, as we stated before at the beginning, it would be great if you decided to write every single day. You would get immense amount of clarity. You would get much more confidence in yourself, because you can look at a page every day and see, hey, every day this man is improving. Or you can see where you're not improving, so you can discover the pattern and then start to improve. So there are benefits to doing it every day, but you don't have to. And the last thing, don't view journaling as this thing where you have to, it's a Dear Diary thing. No, view journaling. You could start off, think about questions that you may have in your life. You can start off just writing that. Hey, what did I feel about how this meeting at work went today? Write the answer. Write everything you think, and you'll discover some new things about what you feel, what you think, and you kind of go from there. There's no one way to do it. The only thing you need to know is you need some type of notebook. You need a pen. You need a place that you want to journal. Start small. Hey, maybe today you only feel like writing for a minute or two. Today I went to the store. This is what I got, whatever. Cool. You wrote what was on your mind. And that is the point, to write what is in your mind. Get what's in here out so you can deposit new things into your mind. So yes, that was it. That's all you had to do. Just write down thoughts as they come. That is the essence of journaling. There's so many different styles. There's bullet journaling, where you just write out bullet points from your day. There's also stream of consciousness journaling, where you just say, hey, for 5 minutes, I'm going to write as much as I want and not let my pen come up. I'm just going to keep writing. There are all types of different styles of journaling. There is the gratitude journaling, where you just write a couple things that you're grateful for every day. There is prompt-based journaling. And to do prompt-based journaling, what you could do is you can go on something like ChatGPT, ask it, hey, this is the topic that I want to journal about today. Maybe it's my weight. What are some questions I could ask myself surrounding that? And then you write those questions down and then answer them. So there's so many different ways to do this. But the point is, we are journaling because we are trying to discover patterns to help us improve our lives. Why? Because we are trying to unleash our best selves. And the way to do that is getting what's in here out, looking at it, seeing if it makes sense. If it's not, doing something about it so that we become better than ever. Here's your challenge. Don't overthink it. Just write one thing down this week. It could be one sentence, one thought, one lesson, doesn't matter. Whatever you want. And then drop journal in the comments when you do. Let's make this a movement, baby. Get your pen. In the description, there's a link if you want to chat for 15 minutes. I am here for you to assist you. Maybe you need to get started journaling, whatever the case may be. Hit me up. Let's chat, because I believe in you and I want to see you be amazing. So I'm here to help. And if you didn't check out last week's video about anger, make sure you check it out. The link's right here.